Mr. or Mrs. Chef. For today's recipe, you will need 500 grams of prawns, 300 grams of calamari, and 200 grams of clams. You will need tomatoes, an onion, garlic cloves, 1 red pepper, food coloring, rice, bomba rice. You will also need a paella stock, and you will need some salt. The first thing you want to do is you want to chop 1 medium onion or half of a large one, your red pepper, but only about half of the pepper, and also 4 garlic cloves. Next up, you want to chop about 3 medium tomatoes and you want to put them in a blender. If you don't have a blender, you can also just grate them. It is also perfectly fine if you prefer to just buy canned tomatoes. For your seafood prep, you can chop your calamari in little chunks or you can leave them as they are. I prefer to chop them. You also want to peel your prawns but leave the heads separate to one side because you will need them later. And also, if you want, leave about 4 or 5 prawns with the heads on for decor later on. To get started on the real cooking, you want to heat up your stock and add your prawn heads in to boil together with that and add that extra flavor. You can also create your own stock by boiling a fish head along with prawn heads in some water. You want to add a generous amount of olive oil in a pan, and then to follow, you want to add your onion, your red pepper, and your garlic. Once these 3 ingredients are cooked through, you want to add your tomato sauce, and you don't want to add a lot, just a little bit. And to follow through, you want to add your calamari, and this is the first thing that you want to add because they simply take longer to cook through. I didn't mention paprika in the ingredients before because it is optional. If you want to add it, that's okay, and if you don't, that's okay as well. For your rice, you want to add about 1.5 cups, depending on how large your pan is. But in this case, I'm using 1.5 cups. Give this a little stir, and then you can go ahead and add your food coloring. And this is what's going to help to create that orangey color for your paella. By this point, you want to go ahead and add your stock into the pan, and you want to fill the pan as much as you can because the rice has to basically cook in the stock now. And by this point, you can also add your prawns in, and you can add some salt in the pan, and then finally you can add your clams in. By this point, you're pretty much finished with cooking the paella. You just want to let that rice cook through, which will take around 20 minutes. It will soak up all the stock. However, if you try your rice and it isn't fully cooked through, just keep adding that stock until it is cooked through. And there you have it, your seafood Spanish paella.